Look, I know I have not always started local streams as fast as I wanted to, but hey, it is what it is. Here's the deal. I am doing this show, which I've been doing for a long time. There are certain things about doing the show and the local streams and whatever that have become difficult for me. Not because I don't like doing the show, I do. And not because I don't like doing local streams, I do. I am trying to maximize the effectiveness of what I do for me, for you guys and everybody else. I'm trying to do that. And so what happens is this. When I'm in some sort of turmoil and I'm canceling shows or postponing them or shortening them, any of those things unexpectedly to me, I am traumatized in a weird way about work because work is now stress. And this show never used to be stress. There was stress related with schedules, there was stress related with a whole bunch of things. Now, though, I fucking hate canceling shows. I have to explain that, clarify that. I hate canceling shows. I know I don't owe an explanation. Stop. It's not about owing anything. I don't owe anybody anything. I know. It's not about owing. It's not about any of that shit. It's not about some obligation. Here is the deal. When I have to cancel a show because of something that's largely out of my control, I might have a mild say, but you know those things, right? Where you have a say in something, but that say is a cashing in of credit, right? With someone else. Maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your parents, maybe it's work, whatever it is. You go I don't want to do that at that time. It's not going to work out. Maybe I'll cancel, maybe I'll reschedule, whatever. And then you go, oh, wait a minute. I can do this. I can cancel these things. I can do that. But I'm cashing in capital for that. You go, fuck. That capital is going to cost me. I've worked to build that up. It's weird because relationships tend to not work on that capital in principle. There's not a direct ledger that says, okay. There's not a direct ledger that says, you cancel a stream here, you have, you get this thing here, whatever. We need you to do this. You didn't do this. None of that exists in reality. But in your head, in the minds of other people, you start to develop this thing. Oh, they're canceling all the time, or they're not canceling ever. They'll never modify a schedule. They will modify a schedule too often. All of those things build up and you're trying to figure out what's the balance? What is this? There's not a ledger of it. There's no accounting of hours. But yet, you do build some sort of reputation. I can see it in locals. I can see it everywhere else where I go, okay, I'm getting this reputation that I cancel the show all the time. I'm like, fuck, I hate that. And then with real life people, I'm either canceling a show or I can't do these other things. So you go, work-life balance used to exist in this way. And it was easy because this is how I developed the schedule. Because I already had the work and I already had life. All I had to do was fit the show schedule into that. And I actually reduced working hours to work on the show in the context of how I was already living. Well, that's changed quite a bit. So now I'm like trying to figure out how to do these things and also balance the new schedule that I have. And that's going to, Charlie says, didn't you say you hate consistency? No, I said I hate inconsistency. And so does YouTube hate inconsistency. And in a way, so does Rumble. Because for Rumble, I'm one of their top 10 streamers. Very good numbers on that front. I stream relatively frequently. So what I do is I announce to Rumble. I announce on Twitter when I'm going live. I believe, because I tag Rumble, I believe they see that announcement and they probably put my show in the promoted videos. Or maybe the system does automatically because I'm consistently a top streamer. I don't know. I don't know how the sausage gets made. I just know that there are days when I'm listed on the front page and I do really well, and there are days when I'm not listed on the front page when I do pretty well. And still a very, very effective streamer, high numbers, great engagement, all that stuff. That's fine. But the more consistent you are in whatever you do, doesn't matter, the more consistent you are, the more either Rumble's algorithm or person, I don't know how that works, I don't know what they do, knows to feature you. So if you can, like if I can set up a new schedule with some daytime stuff and I can tell Rumble, hey, by the way, I'm going to be on this thing during the daytime instead of at night. We're going to do this and this and this. Here's my schedule. They can go, okay, we'll look for the tweets. We'll promote your post, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know how they do. They do it, but that's official. For YouTube, it's different. You can't tell YouTube when you're streaming and have them care. You can't tell your partner manager when you're streaming and have them care either. Partner manager is not that kind of person at YouTube. Now, your Rumble, if you're a Rumble creator like me, you have a contract, you have a personal liaison, they will either get your stream promoted or they'll, if they're not available to, they'll have someone else do it. They know and they get the person on there to say, hey, like, let's promote this stuff. This is one of our good creators or whatever. They do that. It's not actually in the contract, I don't think. It doesn't really matter. They like the creators. They work with them. They want them to do things and they want to build stuff up. So obviously, they go ahead and promote these things that they've invested in. Makes sense. But they have to know what you're doing. They have to know when you're scheduled and if you're consistent because they're telling the person who's working those hours, hey, look for this thing, for that thing. When you see that thing, make sure you put that stream up here. Make sure you put it in the right categories, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's it. So with all that, I'm working on hammering out a more consistent schedule, which will mean dropping 2, maybe 3 of the night shows during the week, adding 2, maybe 3 day shows where they can happen. And I do have daytime availability some days pretty consistently. I just have to figure out where it is, what the hours are, if it will actually be consistent, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I want it to be. Guys, I literally fucking hate canceling shows. I wish I could express it to you. I know people go, oh, Rackets is just lazy. He has no drive. He has no whatever. It's like, no, you don't get it. I need to do shows. I need to be consistent on timing and the style of content. I need to do those things. And when I'm not able to make that consistency, I don't schedule guests. I don't do that. It becomes just me because my schedule's erratic. My schedule being consistent helps with everything entirely. So I really do try to work towards that. And I have an emergency or an event or a thing that I didn't know about, something that's not in the schedule, something our kids didn't tell us about, and we find out, oh, hey, we have to do this thing on this day. And I'm like, holy shit. Medical stuff. I get sick. I get, my voice goes to shit. I'm really tired because I stay up like 2 days in a row trying to deal with other stuff. Even though I can fit a stream in, I don't get to go to sleep. I don't get to take a nap, whatever. And I have to go like do like a shitload of driving or whatever it is. All of that stuff adds up. And then I go, I'm too fucking beat to do a show. I can't fucking think of a show. I can't get topics. And if I get on stream, I'm going to sit there and look like a fucking asshole. Like tonight, I feel really good. And a bunch of people are like, you have AIDS. You're sick. You look gross. You look like you're dying. You look within. And I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell you. I know that I'm right around 165 pounds, my target weight. I feel great. I know I'm pale because in Minnesota there's no sun for several months yet. Um, all of that stuff factors in, but people notice this shit. That's the thing. When I'm actually sick and cancel a stream, you have to take my AIDS look, like I'm the REM lead singer or whatever, in San Francisco, shoving needles in his arm. I have to be way worse than that. I have to look like me, but I've drained 18 dicks at once with my mouth. Got it. Okay. I have to do that. Like, that's where I am when I cancel a show for illness. When I cancel a show for schedule or an unexpected event or an unexpected, outing, or Lady Rackets and I get a night off because babysitter says, hey, or our nanny will say, hey, I can stay the night. You guys can go do something. And we go, oh my God, thank you. It's nice to get away and just chill. When we do those things, or when we do all those things, it's great, but it does make the show erratic. But I hate that because I know how people get mad about it. I know how it frustrates people because you have this expectation of when the show's going to happen. So I just want to clearly communicate an expectation of when the show will happen and make it happen. That's what I want. That's what I actually want. See, Mary is me 247 says, I'm getting used to not expecting a show now. Sometimes I forget to check. I know. It's because I've had, I think last week I had to cancel Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from illness or something like that. Was that last week? The week before I canceled one or two streams. Um, I I have to communicate. I hate those. I hate those days. I hate those weeks. I don't want to do that. And what will happen is, like, you have, oh, well, you get a date night. I'm like, well, okay, it's cool. We'll do four more streams and we'll do a date night. Great. So you go do the date night. The next day, you got a sick kid. You're like, oh shit, I got this sick kid. You know, like, they don't feel good. I don't know. Maybe you got to take them to urgent care. Maybe you got to take them to the ER. Luckily, lately, we haven't had to do any of that, but you have to watch them. You have to monitor them. You get tired watching the kid all day, helping them through whatever they're doing. Okay, so now you got the sick kid. You're exhausted. Okay, you're going to go to bed. I got to be here. I got to sleep. I got to wake up if the kid wakes up. All that stuff. And the next day, if you're me and you do have a limited law practice, hypothetically, you don't like talk about how much you do, maybe, just maybe, the next day, the Wednesday, when you don't want to cancel anything, someone calls and says, hey, I got an emergency. I need help. I need a lawyer. I need advice right now. My life is falling apart. And you go, why are you calling me? And they go, because you're the only person away. What do you do? It's not like a random client either. It's like a friend, a family member, a longtime client. You go, okay, your life is crumbling around you. I can stop that for just a second. I can give you advice. I can calm you down. I can help you out. I can file something. Or I can just tell you what to do next. Or I can tell you that it doesn't matter. But then, when you do that, sometimes that bleeds into nighttime. Sometimes that bleeds into your showtime. Sometimes you have to keep talking. Sometimes you have to talk to police. Sometimes you have to talk to another lawyer. Was that last week? I think I had to cancel Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I hate that shit. I really do. But also, why have a law license? Why be an active practicing lawyer? Why keep up with your learning requirements if, when someone you care about needs it, you go, fuck it, go to bed? I don't know. Never been my thing. I don't want to do the law shit. Like, I really don't. I hate taking people's lives in my hands. I hate shaking them down for money. Most people don't have it, especially in small towns. And I really fucking hate the deadlines and the filings and all that stuff that you have to keep up with. It's hard to do when you're alone. That's why a good paralegal is so valuable, or a good AI that takes care of that shit. You got to pay for both of those. I don't want to do that. I don't want to try and do that and then pass on the cost to my client in addition to the hourly wage you're taking or whatever. I don't want that. I'd much rather do this, create content, make people happy, make people laugh. But if you do have that thing, if you did work hard for that thing, if you studied hard, if you paid for it, all those things, when your family and friends get in trouble, it will happen. The ability to call up a police officer, prosecutor, even your family member or friend, and say to the police or prosecutor, fuck off, call me fascist or whatever. But to your loved ones, you say, hey, calm down. I know this is scary, but listen, this is a legal issue. It's dealt with this way. It's not hard. You're not going to fucking lose everything. Your life isn't over. Let me take this on. Let me make some calls. And you do it. There you go. Why maintain a law license? Why even get a law license if you won't do that? I don't know. But that's that. Sometimes all those things conjoin, like last week, you cancel a bunch of shows. I fucking hate it. But it's life, it's reality, and it is this ability to help people who need it. Guys, I have been helped by way too many people in my life to say, not going to help you, not going to do this, I need you to do this. I can't do that anymore. I'm not done it in a long time, but I can't do that. Because it's like, here I am making money being an asshole drinking on stream. Here they are trying to put fucking $200 together to pay a lawyer. That's tough. Anyway, that's where the schedule is. I don't want to sit and talk about the schedule. Once I figure it out, you'll know. In the meantime, I'm trying not to cancel so many shows, but also balance life out. It's not easy to do those things, but I love you. I love you. I respect you, like Mike Tyson. By the way, I'm well aware that locals content has been lacking lately. In case you haven't heard, I'll keep it very fucking brief. I do not like the obligation to do locals after a live show. I think it ruins the spontaneity. I think it ruins the excitement. I think it ruins the engagement. For a while, locals live streams were huge. They were lots of fun. A lot of people attended them. I would do them in the middle of the day. I'd do them in the middle of the night. People would pop in. It was crazy. It was very energetic. That time's passed for a whole lot of reasons we don't need to get into, but that time's gone. So I want to change how the locals live streams go. I don't want them mandated. I don't want them to be an obligation. I want them to be spontaneous, but I also want to create other locals content. So I'm not going to sit and belabor this point. I just want you to know, I know I've not been doing as much locals lately. I just felt like an obligation. It just felt like a chore. It felt like a task. Part of that is also my fault because of the erratic schedule. When I am going to go, when I go on to locals, I see people talking about the schedule. I see people talking about inconsistency. And look, I get it. But at the same time, like, I don't want to deal with this right now. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to do that. Mary Isme says you need to promote them more. I do. But here's the thing. When you're doing a local stream at 2:30, 3 in the morning, Central Time, people just aren't up. You hear Will says, Nick is burned out. I've been there, man. Yes and no. Yes and no. You're right. I am burned out. I ramped up the content way too much. Way too much. But at the same time, I'm not like burned out like I don't want to do content. I'm burned out on things like the obligations for it, the structure, the rigidity of the schedule. And the schedule, again, has become a problem for me. So that being said, when I was really, really fucking kicking ass on locals and people were really excited and engaged, most of those people will never come back. I know. There's a lot of reasons for it. Some of them are giant pussies. That's reality for them. Other ones just like, they're like, well, I don't like this stuff, and they fell off. There's a bunch of reasons. Every individual has a reason to do or not do anything. I don't think it's fine what people do. But those like spontaneous streams all throughout the day, it was like, I got to tell locals about this. I got to talk about this. I want that back. I want to bring that spontaneity back. I want people to be here to engage in that thing. And that's awesome. That really is. It makes it fun for the chat. It makes it fun for me. If I'm doing these, the rigid shows, like, oh, you got to do it this time to this time, or after this event for this many hours, you go, this isn't, what am I talking about? What am I doing? I have to now plan a local show. But locals was never meant to be planned. Locals was always supposed to be access to a creator, candid. You talk to them. They talk back to you. You ask questions. You interact. You laugh with them. That's what locals was supposed to be. It's supposed to be a paid place like a Patreon, except for the creator actually engages. And so I want to do that. I want people to have a place to meet me and make fun of me and laugh and tell me jokes and have me tell them jokes. I love all of that stuff. But Jesus Christ. I have to also find a way to make it feel good so I don't hate it. Do a mix of pre-recorded and live stream content. That is actually on the horizon. I have to reiterate. Right now, I literally don't have a fucking minute of time that you guys don't see me. Rocket says, fatigue was noticeable a bit during Rittenhouse. More and more as Depp dragged on and on. Clearly pulling insane hours back then. There's no way streaming for 13 to 14 hours every day didn't affect your family time. Dude, it wasn't just... Most days was actually in excess of 17 hours. It was so fucking insane. I don't see you as being burnt out right now. We're anxious, which is uncertainty, which is what an ever fluctuating schedule is. No, it is really, though, it's burnt out, but not like, it's not the time burnt out. It's not the time that's burnt me out. It's literally finding topics, doing the show, doing these things, and then you look at your office at some point, which my office used to be this place, is my refuge, my solace, my fun place to be, all right? Where I could relax and chill and do a show. It was fun. Then it stopped being fun for a bit. And then you get done with the show and you're like, oh, fuck, I got through that. I'm really tired. I got to do this and this and this. It's not about the hours you're streaming. It's about the hours for the rest of your life. And you get to this place where going to your office means stress. And then it means short rest, recovery, or whatever, rushing for your next schedule. And you can't fix it. You can't fix it at all. So you go, the fuck is this? How do I do this thing? How do I go through these motions? I don't want to go through motions. I hate creating content that's going through motions. I can't do it. I know a bunch of creators who do it. I know a bunch of pre-recorded video people. If someone send them like a list of 10, 15 things during the day, they're paid to go find. They just go and read through them in one giant recording. They send it to an editor. The editor clips out each segment, cleans them up, and posts them. I know so many creators who do that. It's really effective, especially if you're consistent with the posting, the length of time, the format, all that stuff. You can do that. I can't do that. Telepathic Dragon says you only need that OnlyFans content. Yeah. I'm not opposed